You know the phrase. We've all heard it yelled across a gym floor or seen it plastered on some motivational poster. No pain, no gain. Push through it. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Well, let's dive right into this explainer by throwing that toxic cultural myth right out the window. Because biologically speaking, working through the pain doesn't actually make you stronger. It can literally cause your body's systems to completely shut down.
Welcome to today's explainer. We are going to completely flip the script on fitness today. We'll be exploring exactly how your body biologically adapts to exercise, and we'll reveal why mastering the art of doing absolutely nothing, your recovery, is the actual secret to peak performance.
Here is our roadmap. First, the overtraining trap. Then, the biology of exercise, followed by choosing your workout split. After that, we'll hit active and passive recovery, and finally, wrap up with tech-powered training.
Part 1. The overtraining trap. What actually happens when exercise backfires. So, we need to clarify something right off the bat. Unlike a simple overuse injury, like tweaking your shoulder or getting shin splints, overtraining syndrome is a system-wide electrical failure. When you chronically deny your body rest, you trigger severe hormonal imbalances, deep neurological fatigue, and a suppressed immune system. Your body essentially pulls the emergency brake to protect you from yourself. It's self-preservation mode kicking in because, you ignored all the subtle warning signs. And look, you might think this kind of systemic breakdown only happens to Olympic athletes training 6 hours a day, right? No way. An estimated 30% of non-professional endurance athletes, everyday weekend warriors like us, experience overtraining at some point. It is incredibly common to mistake the dangerous onset of overtraining syndrome for just normal muscle soreness. So we push harder when we absolutely should be resting. Moving on to part 2, the biology of exercise. Let's take a look at what happens beneath the skin. To really understand overtraining, we have to look at the chemical cocktail that a tough workout triggers. First up, adrenaline. This gives you that immediate fight-or-flight power surge to lift the weight or run that extra mile. Then cortisol steps in. Now, cortisol is a double-edged sword. You absolutely need it to mobilize energy during your session. But if you don't rest, chronically elevated cortisol will literally eat away at your hard-earned muscle tissue. Finally, we have growth hormone. This acts as the master architect, stepping in long after the workout is over to repair all those micro tears you just created. Now, think of your lymphatic system as your body's cellular garbage disposal. It clears out toxins and waste created during exercise. But here's the catch. Unlike your circulatory system, which has your heart acting as an automatic pump, the lymphatic network doesn't have a central engine. It relies entirely on your physical muscle movement to push that waste out. And that is exactly why completely vegetating on the couch after leg day isn't always the optimal way to heal. Part 3, choosing your workout split. This is your blueprint for success. So translating that biology into a solid gym strategy means structuring your week intentionally. If you're a beginner, hitting a full body routine 2 to 3 days a week gives you the maximum return on your time. As you progress, moving to a push-pull leg split over 3 or 6 days really maximizes your training volume. To build pure strength, an upper-lower split over 4 days is incredibly effective. And for specific hypertrophy, muscle growth, a 5-day body part split focuses heavily on isolation. But the ultimate takeaway here? Whatever split you choose to fit your goals, it has to be engineered to give every major muscle group the 48 hours of rest it biologically requires to rebuild. All right, part 4, active and passive recovery. Let's talk about the rebuild phase. Basically, we have 2 main gears in our nervous system. The sympathetic state is our fight or flight mode. It's high stress, high energy, and it's activated the very second we start to train intensely. But here's the thing. You simply cannot stay in that gear and expect your body to heal. To direct energy towards cellular repair and adaptation, you have to consciously downshift into the parasympathetic state, which is our rest and digest mode. This crucial balance between stress and rest is absolutely non-negotiable for long-term progress. And the absolute king of the parasympathetic state is sleep. This is the ultimate phase of passive recovery. While you are unconscious, your body is working overtime. It's regulating that vital growth hormone, consolidating motor memory from your training, and physically rebuilding torn tissue. Without the recommended 7 to 9 hours of sleep acting as the foundation of your routine, all those hours spent sweating in the gym, they're practically wasted. But remember our garbage disposal, the lymphatic system that desperately needs movement? Well, if you work at a desk all day, total passive rest can actually leave you stiff and full of metabolic waste. Incorporating active recovery on your rest days keeps the blood flowing. We're talking simple things here: stretching your neck and shoulders at your desk, taking walking meetings, doing chair yoga poses, or just rolling your foot on a tennis ball. It clears out that waste without adding any new stress to your nervous system. Finally, Part 5, Tech-Powered Training. This is the future of recovery. To completely eliminate the guesswork from recovery, we can look to modern tech. The absolute gold standard metric right now is heart rate variability, or HRV. Now, contrary to what you might assume, a perfectly healthy, recovered heart doesn't beat like a rigid metronome. There are actually micro-millisecond fluctuations between each beat. A higher variation is a fantastic sign. It means your autonomic nervous system is highly adaptable, relaxed, and fully recovered from your last session. Today's AI-powered wearables continuously analyze this incredibly complex data for us. By constantly calculating your HRV, sleep quality, and daily stress loads alongside your biomechanics, these trackers act just like a personalized digital coach. They completely remove the ego from your training. They can tell you exactly when your biology is primed for a personal record and precisely when you are hovering way too close to that overtraining trap. And beyond just digital data, athletes are utilizing futuristic physical tools to mechanically hack the healing process. Take pneumatic compression boots, for example. They look like sci-fi armor, literally squeezing your legs in waves to aggressively flush out that stubborn lymphatic waste we talked about earlier. Meanwhile, cryotherapy chambers use extreme sub-zero cold to shock your system, which drastically reduces deep muscle inflammation in just a matter of minutes. It's wild stuff. So as you map out your next training split, keep the hidden biology we discussed today in mind. We have to permanently ditch that toxic, no pain, no gain mentality. Listen to your data, respect your hormones, and honestly ask yourself a critical question. Is your body truly meant to push harder today, or is it begging you to rest so it can finally grow? Thanks for hanging out with me for this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.